They say ghosts tend to take over the house only when the owner is out. This creepy ass Facebook video uploaded by firefighter Greg is the perfect example of that. Greg lives pretty close to the haunted place where the eerie footage was captured, which happens to be his colleague's house. One night, when they are both on duty, his friend's phone chimed, alerting him to some motion detected by his Wise camera. This wouldn't be too concerning if it wasn't for the fact that his friend lives completely alone. He immediately brought out his phone to see what could have moved in the house, only to find something utterly bone-chilling. Let's take a look. If you follow the highlighted area closely, right after the lights go out, you observe a sinister figure, as well as hearing some footsteps when whatever was there made its way across the room. You're probably thinking that this could have been an intruder moving in front of the camera, but everything points to something more sinister. They called the police thinking what most of us would have thought: burglar in the house. But on getting there, the police found absolutely nothing other than the lights off. No forced entry and no one was inside at all. After this unexplainable event, the uploader also stated that other weird things occurred in the house before his friend eventually decided to move out. But that was far from the first time someone captured an intruder on camera while everyone was out. Here is another person who caught something creepy passing by the camera. Ryman8 uploaded this bizarre video on YouTube showing some sort of eerie figure or energy strolling out of the room before it eventually sets off the intruder alarm. Imagine capturing something like this inside your home while you're out. Would you sleep there again? Let us know in the comments.
Here's one to give you goose pimples. TikToker the_bonehead uploaded this video from someone explaining they got a cute little camera for her daughter as a Christmas present. The little girl wouldn't stop taking pictures with it, but after some time, she tells her mum about something that keeps appearing in her photos, even though they're the only ones in the house. So she decided to check out the pictures her daughter wouldn't shut up about. And that's when she found every mother's worst nightmare. Take a look.
We're just hanging out at home today by ourselves. My husband's at work. She's been telling us she's been seeing somebody in her room, that she can't really sleep well. She refuses to sleep in there. We just moved to this house. I never set the date or time on this camera because it was just like a little play camera, so she would quit taking her phones and taking pictures of herself because she's at that age right now. So we just like never set the time. So she just took a picture and she says, "Mommy, look, there's a man in the photo." I said, "What?" She said, "There's a man in my photo." And I went like that real quick. Like, this just happened just like 5 minutes ago. Like, no one else is here. It's just us. Like, I'm going to have to change the date and time so I can get more pictures for y'all. But look at that.
She explained that the picture was only taken 5 minutes before she made a video about it, and confirmed that she and her daughter were the only ones at home, which makes it all the more creepy. Do you think the camera caught an entity from the other side? And since they don't have any history of weird happenings around the house, should they really be worried about the man in the picture? Leave your comments down below.
Here's another creepy clip of shadow people because we loved it, and we know you do too. This video will take you to a dimly lit lounge. People often claim that shadow people are ghosts because they appear as dark apparitions. But after watching thousands of ghost clips, We're not quite sure. We notice that ghostly apparitions are usually vapor-like misty white. In contrast, shadow creatures are much darker and appear just like any normal shadow. This footage will give you a little more clarity on the difference between ghosts and shadow people. This place seems to be a paranormal hotspot. Just look at how the shadow freely moves around, starting from the ceiling and moving downwards towards the floor. And the creepiest part seriously gave us chills down the spine. The creature changed its shape, turned into a human figure from a bull-like form and became hazy. Now, this is something you don't see every day, is it? What's going on here? Can you help us make a decision?
While presumably on their morning commutes to work, these people had no idea what they were looking at when a sheet appeared to have a life of its own. What in the fresh hell happened there? The fact that nobody responded to this incredibly strange sequence of events is one thing, but any idea how this could be faked in the middle of a busy street? Did a car catch a power cable which pulled the blanket somehow? We'll leave this one up to you to decide.
This place not only attracts visitors from the physical world, but apparently also from the other side. It certainly has a reputation of becoming a target for unexplainable, weird activities. Let's watch some of the craziest ghost footage captured by the surveillance cameras at this creepy restaurant. Did you see how violently the cup is thrown? Wise Guy's New York owner and operator William says that they have encountered many odd things that left little doubt the place was haunted while remodeling the restaurant. Here is another scary footage from this place, but beware, this one might leave you speechless.
I'm in with them. It's Uber. My phone is Wise Guys. So, I'll be right back.
The Bite Squad driver clearly gets a paranormal bite on his ass.
Hey, buddy. Huh?
But we aren't too surprised because Tampa is considered the damnedest city in the USA. However, out of the many haunted sites in Tampa, Wise Guy New York's Pies definitely takes the cake. Here's another proof that this place isn't for the faint-hearted. The computer operator gets startled when things start moving all of a sudden. According to William, staff members often hear strange noises like someone is banging on the door, but when they check, there is no one there. Stuff gets thrown around casually, even when there isn't anyone around. Here's another spooky video from them. This is where he observed an actual apparition and was so scared that he had to flee the kitchen. What's your opinion on the events captured in this video? Who or what could be the cause for this strange activity? We are waiting for you in the comments below.
Exploring abandoned villages at stupid o'clock always sounds like a cliche opening for horror movies. But what happens when those jump scares are not the result of a special effects team? Takanouchi learned it the hard way. He is well known on YouTube for his in-depth paranormal investigations. but this one in particular had him wondering whether or not he would get out of there alive. He decided to investigate the abandoned Shirawa village in Saitama. Rumour has it, this very village was the one that inspired the horrifying Forbidden Siren game. Some believe it became abandoned when the unemployed youth moved to the city, but locals from the nearby villages still refuse to talk about what really happened there. All we know is that whatever happened, it happened suddenly in 1984. Of course, with such an eerie history, Takanouchi couldn't help but explore it alone at night. But if hearing what sounded like footsteps following him throughout the whole village wasn't enough, he also noticed some movement and rattling noises coming from this house. And that's when his cameras caught something you'll hope only exists in your nightmares. Take a look. He already had a bad feeling about the mirrors, but it looks like his gut instinct was right. A few comments were suspicious that he stopped right in front of the mirror, accusing him of kicking it off camera, but take a look at this. One of his other cameras caught it from a different angle, and you can see that it kept shaking as he sprinted away. I suppose it's not considered one of the scariest original Japanese ghost towns for no reason. To watch the video in full and more content like this, be sure to subscribe to Takanouchi Camera on YouTube.
The story of Sylvia Likens is one that is both horrifying and heartbreaking. The American teenager was tortured and neglected by her caregiver before she eventually died from extensive injuries and malnourishment on October 26, 1965. The story gets more stomach-churning when you discover that her younger sister was coerced into torturing her along with the other children of her caregiver. The defense attorney described it as, quote, acts of degradation that you wouldn't commit on a dog. All those involved were tried and rightfully sentenced to years behind bars. Sadly, some believe that even after her death, her spirit continues to seek rest. And this video, uploaded by YouTuber Carlos Coy 135, brings to light some shocking discoveries about the house. Take a look.
What was the basement like? Right? This is the basement where the little girl was tortured. Dude, come here. This is fucking freaky. As you can see, this is what the basement looked like. That's fucked.
Oh, hell no. This picture is serious, too.
Dude, I fucked. There's a picture of the stairs.
After going round to the basement, they find an opening where they stick their camera and catch something utterly frightening. Did you hear the scream? The camera catches a faint voice saying, "Can you help me?" But they didn't hear it at first, so as they turned away, a scream can be heard calling out to them saying, "Help." Again, they didn't hear it and went away. Could that have been the ghost of Sylvia Likens? Let us know what you think.
According to the uploader, students and teachers started noticing weird things happening months before the scary ghost video you're about to watch. Drawers left open when no one remembered touching them, items going missing all of a sudden and being retrieved from the unlikeliest of all places, and even objects scattered all over the floor just minutes after the room was cleaned. These and other creepy events gradually became the norm there, but because it was such a busy school, the staff presumed it was just the kids being kids with their stupid pranks. This scary video was captured while students were taking a lecture on camera for evaluation purposes. What the teacher didn't expect though was capturing something that shook him to his core while trying to keep his cool so the kids wouldn't panic. Let's watch this creepy encounter with a poltergeist.
I'll send this on tonight.
Okay guys, remember what I said this morning then? Said the camera's not there.
That's just there so that my boss can see what we've been doing in our lessons. Right, what were we talking about this morning? What have we been doing this morning?
Safety in the community.
Excellent, thanks. Yeah, safety in the community. Okay, good, Stephen. So we've been talking about dangers that we might face when we're out and about. What dangers might we bump into? Stephen, don't do that, please. It's distracting. Right, okay, well, whoever it was, don't do that, please. Go on.
So, everything looks normal, when suddenly, the folder moves on its own. But, that's only the start of this scary ghost video. While we were trying to figure out how the heck the folder moved, as we didn't see any strings attached, another terrifying incident happens. And this time, the teacher is starting to wet his pants a little. Let's take a look.
Do that, please. Go on. Drugs. Drugs, excellent, yeah, drugs. Okay, so that's one thing. Someone give me another one then.
Strangers.
Strangers.
That was moved on its own.
It definitely seemed that way, didn't it? Right. What we're going to do, we need to... I tell you what, guys. Let's just go out for a minute. Follow me.
The teacher tries to ignore this incident and continues with the lecture, but he's about to get a paranormal punch in the face. They all decide to shift to another classroom and forget to pause the recording. What they found after looking back at the footage still lives in their nightmares today. Take a look. Okay, it looks like the chair swiveled on its own, but who the hell toppled the camera? Someone or something doesn't seem to want it to record anymore. But the way it moves and topples is kind of weird, and we can also hear something else banging straight after the camera is moved. What could be causing these bizarre movements in this classroom? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section.
The following creepy footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel He Detects Everything, and he claims to have captured real poltergeist activity. This clip features two young girls leisurely wheeling around in their hallway, but their playdate soon turns paranormal. After this, the girls decide to investigate the restless door. All we can say is that you should tell your kids to not try this at home. Watch the terror creep up and grip these girls like a vice. But we bet you missed out on the most disturbing part. Focus on the hallway wall. Do you see the shadows sliding across the walls as the girl takes a peek inside the room? Whatever is behind that door also has power in the hallway. Watch the bikes as the girls flee in terror. How terrified must those girls have been, having a good time for 1 second and being plunged into a paranormal pit of despair the next? How would you have reacted? Would you have run away? Or would you have stayed to investigate? Let us know. In this video, posted by Reddit user Lucky1196, there might be more than meets the eye. At first glance, it seems to be a harrowing video of somebody's last moment. But when we take another look and slow it down, it starts to make less sense. The figure is milky white all over, almost glowing, and usually, as a commenter pointed out, if somebody were to be jumping from that height, they would calmly stroll to the edge and tip off the edge. They also wouldn't fade as they fell. Something definitely isn't quite right here. But what do you think? Raw paranormal footage or some very clever editing skills? Let us know in the comments section.
How long could you handle living in a haunted house where things go bump in the night like this? While no context was added, there are plenty more creepy videos around the web showing the same kind of phenomenon. Surely they can't all be fake, right? Check out this one uploaded to YouTube by Doctor Who. The guy who captured this one appears to be absolutely terrified, adding some credibility to the footage, especially when we can't see anything around the door handle to make it shake the way that it is. But this one, uploaded by X Paranormal, takes the creepy factor to a whole new level. These clips are definitely spooky, and if they're real, poor people having to deal with it all. But paranormal clips centered around doors tend to get a lot of skeptical comments brimming with attempted debunks. Fishing wire is the most common theory. There are a few instances in the second clip where the quality of the footage is so blurry we wouldn't be able to tell if anything's attached to the door handle even if we squinted, which we did, for the record. And it's not a wild idea to assume that the other two clips could easily have subtle jump cuts before they open the door with all that camera movement. But the real question is, what if it is in fact real? What if these poor people can't afford to move out and have to take all this creepy rattling and banging on the chin? What would you do? Let us know.
Have you ever thought you caught something out of the corner of your eye? Just hidden, disappearing around the corner before you can get a good look at it. This widespread experience has been caught on camera by Oh My God Facts Tamzaren. Look closely at the back wall. The shadowy figure is one thing, but watch the woman's reaction. Her body language indicates she has spotted something spooky. Her curiosity also gets the better of her as she delicately treads towards the wall to investigate. Could this be a simple shadow or a true ghostly stranger on the stairs?
Sama and his team of paranormal investigators behind the YouTube channel In the Dark decided to visit an abandoned school dormitory, one that many students and teachers reported being, quote, terrifyingly haunted. Crashes and bangs could be heard in hallways hours after the curfew, and the haunting sound of the call to prayer emanating from the empty mosque was a common occurrence. So naturally, going inside with their spare pants packed, these guys had a pretty good idea as to what they were walking into. But They never expected this paranormal punch in the face.
Duman çıktı lan. Öyle bir şey var. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Samet o neydi?
Oğlum valla ama şu oynadı ha. Yemin ederim. Şuradan geliyor.
Bismillah. Samet.
Even with all that commotion and how quickly they run to check if there's anyone playing pranks on them, they still can't find a single sign that anybody but themselves is inside the building. Every room they investigate draws a blank, even when you can hear it was a war zone in there before they entered.
Samet dışarıdan mı geliyorsun?
Dur bir dakika. Baba sese bak.
Dışarıdan geliyor. Ne oldu?
Bir şey geliyor, bir şey geliyor. Çek.
Samet dur hele ya. Elim ve ayağım titriyor kardeş.
Ne oldu?
Abi ses geliyor arkadan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah, 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 bismillah. Koş. Tamam, geç.
They can even hear it from outside. But that's not the only thing they heard while they searched the outside perimeter. Remember when we said the call to prayer could be heard from the empty mosque? Yeah, they weren't lying. And it's even creepier than you can imagine. And after getting sufficiently spooked, they decided to call it quits. Now, you could argue that the cabinets and planks moving, the crashing and the call to prayer were all done by a hidden third party, both by wreaking havoc and placing a speaker down in the right places. But throughout the whole investigation, we couldn't see any shadows, hear any footsteps, or spot any kind of speaker whatsoever. So, could the place be really haunted? Let us know what you think in the comment section. To watch more terrifying clips like this, make sure you subscribe to In the Dark on YouTube. These guys deserve so much more recognition, and we'd love it if you could help them out. You can find a link in the description.
TikTok user Jay Olivas posted 2 seemingly authentic videos of a hospital's emergency care unit. After watching this one, you'll probably agree that patients might have a hard time getting some rest while trying to recover there. Thankfully, no one was harmed in this event, but what happens next is even scarier. Take a look. How does the chair move from one point to another on its own? Quite possibly, it could be due to a draft because the curtains are blowing. But could the wind coming from a window be powerful enough to make sure as something as heavy as a chair move on its own? And what can make it stop at a specific place like that?
Oh shit.
Many of Jay's viewers left comments believing it to be the work of a ghost. But what's your take on this? Let us know in the comments below. For more cool footage, You can follow at JOlivas on TikTok.
Picture this. You're sitting with your friends, a few beers cracked open, someone's got the guitar out, and you're all feeling mellow in the gentle haze of dusk. The last thing you'd expect to see there is a colossal apparition standing just outside the door. Unfortunately, that's just what happened to the people in this video, posted by Mr. Jacob van Heerden.
Het is altijd, je hebt steeds druk al bezig met ach, maar gaan arm weer. Ik zie het wel terug in die chill.
Maar
Je geeft nooit.
Heb je het gehoord?
Wat?
Was dit zo buiten? Heb je het gezien?
Something is looming over the group through the door, and then, in the blink of an eye, it's gone. The apparition does seem a little weird, but what do you guys think? Real or fake? Let us know.
Multiple guests started reporting what they call the Vanishing Man, a supposed ghost wearing a long black trench coat. There's also the story of the Mill Children, 2 young boys who passed away while working in the cotton mill, way before it was transformed into the historic Jefferson Hotel. Rumour has it that room 19 is the hotel's most haunted room, where the ghost of a teenage girl frequently appears to guests. These are the widely circulated stories from the historic Jefferson Hotel, but the clips you're about to watch makes these more than just stories. Let's watch the first. This is the hotel's family kitchen where the owner is preparing the meal, but little did she know, someone else was there helping her with the dirty dishes. The kitchen seems to be a hotspot of paranormal activity, as usual. So you can guess by now, that's not the only thing that happened there. This also happened.
This rack right here, which is sitting on here, can't fall. It actually lifted up and flipped over and landed in the sink. Today, something new, which is this rack right here, kind of just flipped out from the top here and landed on the ground. And it's one of the weirder movements that I've seen because it actually looks like something is coming out of thin air. At first you can't tell where the rack's coming from, so watch right here. Right there. So to me it looked like it was just coming out of nowhere and then landed, but what had happened is it's falling at a fast speed from the top. It's actually coming from the very top of your screen. If you'll watch, you can see movement up there, right there.
Let's watch the next scary video from this creepy hotel. It was captured downstairs in the hallway. Take a look.
So she comes out and she's like dumbfounded because there's nobody around. Now these scales are actually right here behind the desk, so you can't see them in this angle, but let's see her reaction again. So she's like, okay, no one's around, that was weird. Here's the angle of the scales. Now they're sticking out right there. You'll be able to see them jump up here in a second. They lift up from the base and fall on the ground. So how that happened, I don't know. Of course, I can't actually say it's anything paranormal, but no one was around on the stairs or anything like that. You'll see them come out right here. And that was from the clip you just saw previously.
How did the scales fly across the room, even while guests were around? Any theories for our comment section? Is this raw paranormal activity footage? Or a clever way to bring people like us to a creepy hotel? Leave a comment below with this clip's number and the words real or fake.
While sneaking inside a flooded USSR bunker, YouTuber Shy was, without a doubt, the right man to step foot in that terrifying place for the first time in over 30 years. But no urban exploration or parkour mastery would prepare him for the bone-chilling discovery one of his viewers made while watching his video. Take a look. Bet you missed it, didn't you? Just before he climbs the pipes to avoid the flooded floor, his camera captures something eerily standing behind the pipes. It appears to be a little girl in a white gown. A terrifying sight, especially when that's the last thing you'd expect to find in such a place. Certainly not a suitable environment that any responsible adult would subject a child to just for a bit of clout. And judging by how quickly he panned the camera out and didn't even react to it, makes this footage even creepier. Plus, his other videos focus on parkour, not the paranormal or even anything remotely spooky. But why would a little girl be behind those old pipes in a place that's been inaccessible for over 30 years? Any idea of what happened here? Let us know your thoughts.
With the number of paranormal investigators on the rise, exploring abandoned hospitals at stupid o'clock seems to be a popular activity these days. And that's exactly what this dude was up to during a live stream. But when he started hearing strange noises from a distance, his live audience convinced him to get closer and investigate the area. That's when he found this picture, oddly placed next to the pillar, and of course he thought it was a brilliant idea to make jokes about it. At this point, not impressed with his childish behaviour, his viewers start spamming the chat, telling him to put the picture inside the hospital, where it belongs. But as he arrives at the entrance, his Joker attitude will soon be short-lived by a terrifying experience that still haunts his nightmares to this day. Let's watch.
Dengar suara. Dengar suara. Bentar ya. Tak balikin dulu teman-teman. Tak balikin dulu ya. Oke. Dah ya. Kau udah balik situ aja. Jangan kemana-mana, oke? Kau diem di situ. Guys, astaga Tuhan.
After listening to his live audience, he ends up in a room full of Scooby-Doo vibes. The perfect place to leave that picture alone. But straight after placing it on the shelf, the cupboard door slammed shut, sending him into a frantic panic. Not so much of a tough guy now, huh? Fair play to him though, as this weird experience wasn't enough to make him leave the area. He kept telling himself that there was nothing to be scared of. He was completely alone after all. Or was he? Acting on a request from a viewer to visit the operating room, he saw what he thought to be the apparitions of 3 girls wearing hospital gowns. But he didn't stay there long enough to find out if they were people or ghosts. But what do you think? Real paranormal activity? Or just another guy searching for his 5 minutes of fame? Let us know in the comments section.
Security cameras are a true blessing, alerting you to any sign of threat to your house. But they're also a curse, considering the abundance of creepy-ass ghost sightings they seem to traumatise us with. While watching her security footage back, Ismail Kaloka noticed the cameras picked up on something. Of course, she immediately assumed it to be a stray cat or a squirrel, but definitely not this. Some commenters seem to believe this is just a camera glitch, but the creepy vibes from this sighting were surely enough to give everybody goose pimples. Was this a ghost casually walking, or technology trying to prank us all? Let us know.
The following footage comes all the way from Russia by an excellent TikToker account called Haunted House. The name is enough to give us goose pimples, but we found some of the scariest haunted house clips as we explored this profile. The caption is in Russian, and it means, "I am all alone in the apartment, and all the windows and doors are closed. Here's a situation we would never want to be a part of, and we are sure you wouldn't either. Take a look at the first clip. We bet you also didn't see that coming, did you? The bathroom door suddenly opens with a massive thud, loud enough to give palpitations to anyone. This is one courageous lady, we must say. Here's another one. Did you also feel that something was trying to attack the unsuspecting lady, but changed their mind? It gave us real creeps, to be honest. However, we did see a change in light as she moved to wipe her face, but if you keep a close eye on her, she's still moving naturally. And to do a cut this perfect would be near impossible with a regular camera. But that's just us. What do you think? Let us know in the comments before we jump to the following clip from this scary ass house. The next one is even creepier than this one. The cabinet doors open behind the lady's back while she's reading, and things go haywire. If you think this was scary, wait until you watch the following footage. Whether this is real or just a prank, we don't know. But one thing's for sure, living in this house seems quite risky. We bet you haven't seen anything like what we are about to show you next. Now that you have watched, could you recall ever seeing a levitating jacket? Perhaps such things happen in haunted houses only. Here's another footage where the entity makes its presence felt in the middle of the night.
As you'll soon find out, even the most luxurious of places have their fair share of poltergeist activities. This CCTV footage, leaked by the staff of a 5-star hotel, revealed the unexplainable events that go on at night. Take a look.
Высота, посмотри. Стой, ну это что такое? Смотри, сейчас больше. Этот говорит сквозняк. Все. Откроется обратно. Да? Ну, короче. И что ты двинулся, видишь?
Our take on these events? Well, firstly, they took place at a high-profile hotel, yet the original source didn't even reveal its name, which kind of makes a potential publicity stunt less plausible, and any staff member caught in such an act stands a chance of losing their job, so that seems somewhat unlikely too. Secondly, the cart starts rotating, which would be hard to accomplish by someone pulling a string. Something else that also gave us goose pimples when watching it is the fact it's recorded straight from the CCTV camera monitoring software, confirming it couldn't be doctored. But I guess we'll never know the truth for sure.
YouTube channel GankYP uploaded this creepy ass footage captured inside a playground. But not just your average playground. Nearby residents are absolutely sure that this one is haunted. Not just because they see weird things happening all the time, but also because years ago, 4 young kids were playing on this swing when one of them accidentally jumped from it and broke his neck while landing, taking his last breath on the spot. After that, everyone swears that the area was never the same. Passers-by hear the sound of a child crying, and the sound becomes painfully loud after midnight. Some have even claimed to have seen the child ghost playing alone. Upon hearing these stories, the 2 investigators decided to check out the place precisely where people reported hearing the cries and wails coming from. And that's when they captured something bone-chilling. Take a look.
ตอนนี้พี่โอจะทำการเริ่มพิธีกรรมสื่อสารกับน้องนะครับโดยการใช้ธูปและเทียนเนี่ยเอาสายสิญจน์เนี่ยพันนะแล้วก็พันที่มือพี่โอจุดแล้วก็ทำการสื่อสารว่าน้องเขารู้ตัวไหมว่าน้องเขา
We can always blame it on the wind, right? Now that the guys are convinced that something needs to be done, they decide to perform a ritual to communicate with the ghostly child.
พิธีกรรมนี่คือต้องใช้สายสิญจน์พันเทียนใช่ไหมพันเทียนแล้วก็ธูปหมาหอนด้วยมันแก๊งๆนะหมาหอนด้วยหมาหอนด้วยดูทำเลยกูขนลุกดูไปตะกี้นี่กูว่าแม่งพอตอนเสร็จปุ๊บแม่งหมาหอนเลยอ่ะหมาแม่งหอนเลยอ่ะดูอ่ะหมาหอนเลยอ่ะไม่ดีอะนะนี่ไม่ตะกี้ก่อนนั้นตอนนั้นตะกี้นี่ยังไม่มีหมาหอนถูกไหมใช่ยังเงียบกิ๊บยังเงียบกิ๊บอยู่เลยไม่ใช่เสียงหมาหยุดไปแล้ว
The dogs nearby started barking as soon as the ritual began, and they suddenly stopped when the candle was lit. They then continue with the ritual and turn off all the lights except the candle. And then the candle went out. This sent shivers down their spine, and the investigators decided to quit and leave. But when they checked the footage, they found this. Is the playground really haunted, or did you spot something we didn't? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
When paying a visit to the beauticians, you're usually expecting a lovely, relaxed experience. But in this salon, based in Preston in the UK, rather than leaving with a new set of nails, clients are leaving with their spare brown pants on. Let's see why. The nail polish bottle is moving in all directions, eliminating the possibility of somebody pulling a string off camera, and at some point it even spins around. We can also see some items moving on top of the tables and the chair shifting as if it was suddenly holding somebody's weight, but there was no one to be seen. Fair enough, there could have been somebody perfectly positioned off camera, touching the chair and pushing the table. After all, the night vision makes it harder to spot signs of trickery. But as it turns out, the supposed spooks also like to play in broad daylight. The nail polish bottle could have been easily pulled with a string by somebody off camera, and if you're even more skeptical, you probably think that someone else must have somehow managed to throw the table to the floor just to fake a ghost video, right? But if that was the case, why would the staff risk breaking one of their tables, especially the one with the electric nail drill machine on top of it? Would you risk damaging expensive equipment just for a little bit of clout? Plus, the workers seemed genuinely shocked by the fall. But what do you think? Is this a real-life haunted salon? Or somebody off camera who loves their job so much they even sleep there at night? Let us know in the comments.
Uploader Rick Jess seems to have a ghastly team of kitchen staff, considering the level of paranormal activity in there. With so many things to throw around and slam shut, it makes sense. But the more that gets manipulated, the more fear is instilled in the residents of the home. Can you spot where the terrifying tantrum begins in this clip?
Je vais appeler maman. Olivier? Oli? Olivier? Oli? Ah! Oli? C'est vraiment pas drôle, là!
The cupboard door swings open, but with no culprit. The actions just get more appalling. Items start being violently flung around the room. But the worst is yet to come. Look at the paranormal pantry. What could be causing this chaos? How can something fly from the pantry so quickly and deliberately? Are these supposed poltergeists being friendly and playful? Or are they in search of causing something more sinister than a slight spooking?
The story behind this next clip is a little murky about where or when it happened. But this CCTV camera captured something much more bizarre than it first appears to be. Watch until the end. At first, we could easily assume it to just be a raindrop slowly moving on the camera lens. But things become much harder to explain when it started hopping across the street. You may even see what looks like wings as a stereotypical image of an angel, or maybe just someone having fun with their video editing software. But since we couldn't get another camera angle, it's hard to tell which is which. Could it be aliens even? Whatever it is, it definitely doesn't look normal to us. What about you?
This footage is one of the scariest poltergeist hauntings we have ever seen, and that is no joke, because we have seen plenty, as you can probably guess. This harmless looking kid seems to be possessed, or something is trying to snatch him away. Naturally, his mum is devastated. The kid needs help, and you need to find out what could be wrong with him. Let's watch. This kid is making waves all over the media due to this somewhat creepy aspect of his life. Clearly, he is horrified and clueless about whatever is happening to him. But you need to tell us, was it raw paranormal activity footage or excellent editing skills? Leave a comment below with this clip's number and the words real or fake. We cannot wait to know what you think about this one.
Heather and her family were just like us, always sensing those tiny chills in the back of their necks when the house was seemingly empty. But they always brushed it off, thinking that it was just a bit of that good old paranoia. Well, that was until one day when Heather's daughter and her friend accidentally captured something on camera that would change their perspective on the paranormal forever. This is what they caught.
This is my daughter and her friend. Please watch closely between them. No one else was up in my home. Look between them right now.
Pretty much everyone dived straight into the comments section, warning Heather about shadow people. If you don't know much about them, shadow people are those dark, looming, human-shaped figures that you pray only exist in your nightmares. Often associated with, but not limited to, sleep paralysis syndrome. These mysterious sightings are not known to be harmful, but it doesn't make them any less spine-tingling to witness. Of course, it's possible that the figure was edited in after the video was taken, but with a deep dive onto their other videos, it's pretty clear that they would have no motive to fake this one. There's nothing paranormal about their channel, especially considering that such a perfect sighting would take a whole lot of skill and time to produce. Would they really go through all of that effort? Or is their house truly haunted? Let us know in the comments section.
In what appears to be a haunted house with some serious poltergeist activity going on, Jack's Paranormal uploaded the following scary video on TikTok, which very quickly went viral for its terrifying nature. Take a look. Through the glass, we can clearly see that there's no one on the other side of the door, so how the hell is the door handle moving so aggressively? Motors, strings, a ghostly tantrum? No idea, but the video ends abruptly when the dude decides to hightail it straight out of there to go and grab his brown spare pants. Wouldn't we all?
This kid acts very strangely at night, playing and talking with his imaginary friend. But when things became way too weird, the parents decided to buy a camera to find out the reason for so many giggles. However, nothing could have prepared them for what they found after checking the footage one night. Take a look. The kid seems to be interacting with what looks like a faint, pale outline of a human being at the side of the bed. Many believe kids are susceptible to the energy of spirits, so could that explain the strange behaviour seen in this clip, when we can also see what appears to be a ghostly figure on camera? Or is it just all a big coincidence, and that's just a spider web bouncing really close to the camera lens? Let us know your thoughts.
It's not only collections of artifacts that can be found in a museum. Apparently, certain unexplainable figures can also be spotted. Take a look at this clip captured at the Valentine Museum. A strange figure can be sparingly seen walking from the background toward the paranormal investigator. Apparently, she never saw anything at the time, but the camera certainly picked up on something very spooky. Well, we could argue that she was carried away, but enhancing the clip suggests another possibility. Using the lady in the clip as a basis for how a human should appear in those enhanced videos, that figure is definitely an anomaly. One that many video and photo experts have failed to explain. They couldn't understand how the image of a person would have been transparent under those conditions, when there's another human clearly there and not transparent whatsoever. But we'll let you be the judge of this one. Real or fake? Let us know.